It's Sunday morning. We've got our coffee, we've got our race strategy locked in, and we're ready to go here on the 1 Hour, 1 Brain Cell podcast. Join us for another episode.
And the intro I don't have ready because I'm an idiot.
Oh my God. Okay, so never mind. We don't have our race strategy. We are checking. It's crazy. That's like maybe the second week in a row that we haven't quite had the intro on point. But to be fair, I didn't give you any warning of what my cold open was going to be, so you just had to be on the fly with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm an idiot. I did not have it ready. It's like I didn't even know the show was stinking starting. So that's on me. That's a 5-second penalty for
Speeding in the pit lane,
infringing on the podcast.
impeding the podcast. Yeah, that tracks. All right. Well, if you can't tell, we're a little fired up. We're still in Formula One mode. There was a race this morning that we'll get to a little bit later in the show. If you are new here somehow, given that this is like our 25th episode, I think. Anyway, if you're new here and you're not our one listener from Ireland that we're still hoping is Hosier, welcome in. We are OHOBC Pod on all of your socials if you want to see and or hear more of us, which I don't know why you would want to do. But if you did and you liked it and you're still here, thank you. We appreciate it. What do you want to start with this week? Because as usual, we just have like a bunch of random topics thrown in the show notes.
It's 100% true. I feel like let's start off on a good note. Why don't we start with the reason why we both have the same mug today?
Yep, Richie's hat today.
We're matching, and my
Mhm.
hat. Let's start with that, shall we?
Should I just let you flex this? Because it really is your brag, your moment, your gold medal.
Sure, I can do that. So, between last week and this week, right? It happened between the last recording and this recording, and when we got
Yeah,
news, yes, because I don't know when, I think it dropped on Monday or something. Dropped on
true.
Monday. This is like I don't know, super early in the morning, and I'm scrolling the Instagram feed and I see that Julien Baker, or actually no, I see from Boy Genius Source because that's where I get all my news. Shout out Boy Genius Source.
Shout
We
out,
love
Boy
you. You're
Genius Source.
terrific.
It's true.
I saw that they had posted a poster for Julien Baker's new tour dates, and I said, "Wait, is this real?" I thought it was fake for a second because I wasn't expecting. I don't think any of us were, you or me, were expecting JB to do any solo dates this year at all after being out on
It
the
had
road
it
all
had
last
been on
year.
my mind a little bit just because we did get her at both All Things Go shows. So I was like, there's
Hmm.
a chance. Like she's at least entertaining doing a little live music. But yeah, more out of the blue than expected.
So I immediately sent this to you as soon as I could out of pure excitement. Because this has been on our list to do for well over a year now. So
It's true. And you guys have heard us talk about it too. So like we can't,
yes,
it exists. You have the receipts here on this show.
yes, exactly. So in preparation, there was 3 days between the announcement and when it went on sale. The tickets went on sale on Thursday. Um,
Mhm.
Probably about a dozen dates or so between a little bit more than a dozen dates, I guess, between the United States and London. And all the shows are at mostly smaller venues, which is sick. And I don't think any you nor me thought that was going to be the case. Um, with the surging popularity of Boy Genius from last year, has skyrocketed JB, Lucy, and Phoebe to like completely brand new heights. They're Grammy winners now. So you and I had talked about this before too. We were like, what rooms can JB play? Like, who's because in terms of her popularity, right? Where prior she was probably playing, like 1,500 rooms, I think, on her previous tour. on Little Oblivions and Wild Hearts, and so that's kind of what we thought. But on this tour, we even got less than that. She's playing places from, I think there's one in San Francisco that's like 500, and then there's some that are just a little over 1,000. And so the date that Jordan and I targeted a Chicago date because it's in driving distance for you.
That's true. That's true. Well, then it becomes driving distance for us jointly because we were
Yes.
never gonna travel separately to this endeavor. This was
Right.
always gonna be boys trip 2.0. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So, like night before, we're like, we're not going to do this. This is not going to happen. Like, we crapped out on All Things Go 4 times in a row. 4
It's
times.
true. We really weren't optimistic, which I don't know if maybe that's what did it, but we were texting back and forth. We're like, I just don't feel good about it.
And so so in order to try and get some good juju going, Jordan and I both did a seance. We both did our
Manifestation. Yeah.
manifestation circle. We both did our Ava Silva core, and it was great. And so much so that in order to provide even more good vibes, I wanted to watch a movie on Wednesday night. It's like, you know what movie I'm gonna watch? Chicago.
It's a great choice. That's such a good choice. I'm
because we
biased,
want
but still.
Yeah, because we wanted to get Chicago tickets. I was like, I wonder if because of me watching Cell Block Tango is going to give us the good juju for the next morning. So next Thursday comes around, pre-sale day. Luckily, I did not have to wake up at 6 a.m. for this. I had to wake up at a normal time, thank God. This time, so actually no, the All Things goes at 7 a.m. So I didn't have to wake up at 7 a.m. I had to wake up like an hour
Was it
later. So I had to
8? Yeah.
sleep in an hour later. So I woke up at like, I don't know, 7:30 or something, and I checked the Twitter, and I'm trying to see how people did on the Eastern Time Zone sale, which was in Washington D.C. And everybody was like, "Oh, their tickets were gone in 5 minutes. It was bad." Blah 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 blah. I was like, "Oh God, what? No, I don't like this at all. This is going to go really poorly." So I did the smart thing. I know you put in the doc to not mention this, but I'm going to mention it anyway because
All
we did
right.
it fair and
You can
square. We did it fair and
he pulled
square.
a little bit of a fast one, but it
I
was
did.
readily available.
I got lucky. It's not like we're not fans, okay? So we're
You
actually
didn't no, you
fans.
didn't get lucky. I'm gonna say you didn't get lucky. I'm gonna say that you had a really good idea and you planned well, because I never would have thought about that.
So here's what I did. So I went on the JB Reddit, as you do, of course. I'm a member. I think it's funny that the members of the Julien Baker Reddit are called faith healers. Like if you look at the whole thing, it's like there's faith. Yeah. Anyway, and then if you're online, it says there's like certain amount of people turning out the lights. It's really adorable. It's like, oh, that's cool.
Mhm. It is cool.
Anyway, so I hop on the JB Reddit. I see what people are saying. Everybody's like, "Oh God, this is terrible." Blah blah blah. We didn't get tickets. Blah blah blah. What do we do this? And then I found out that there was this Spotify pre-sale code from the day before.
Can I
Yes.
add here?
Yeah.
I am anger. I have anger and rage that I didn't get one because I spent like 30,000 minutes last year listening to Julian and I got nothing. Anyway,
I
go
know.
ahead.
I was wondering what that was all about. That was weird. But anyway.
Although, to be fair, that has
Yes.
happened before with, like the fans first stuff that they'll do sometimes. Like, my mom gets the merch drops for Taylor Swift, and I don't usually get them. And I'm like, what is the deal here? This has to be randomized. She'll text me. She's like, "Do you want this thing?" I was like, "Why did you get that?"
Right. Right. Anyway,
Yeah.
so somehow Jordan doesn't get the code. Don't know why. Very strange. I didn't even know it existed. Anyway, so go on the JB Reddit, and people are kind of talking from the day before from this Spotify pre-sale that you can use this particular code to get access. So I tried this code, and I tried it a couple times, and it was like, this is sold out. This is sold out. Sold out. But I kept trying over and over again, and I tried it again, and it said that there were general admission tickets still on sale. I went boop boop, 2 tickets, please. And I tell you what, I texted you this too. I kid you not, that was the most stressful 5 minutes of my life. Trying
Mhm.
to fill out because I didn't have an account with TicketWeb for some reason. I bought tickets before from them. Don't have an account. Don't know why. So I had to go and I had to fill out all of my information, like all of it: name, address, email, phone number, credit card information. And
Yeah,
I
and
was
it's
like,
it's not
"Oh my god, am
Ticketmaster
I?"
too. So there's no queue, there's no like hold your tickets, there's no
Yeah.
spot in line. It's just like
Hmm.
log in and be fast. And it's
And
an
good luck.
800 cap venue. Yeah, good
Yeah.
luck.
And so I was like trying to fill this thing out and I was like stressing out. It was so bad. I was like, what if I don't do this in time? And by the time I hit finish, the tickets are already gone because I don't know. I don't know if it didn't have like Ticketmaster. You have like 8 minutes to fill it out and it's still yours. I wasn't sure if that was the case. I was like, oh God, what do I do? What do I do? Blah, blah, blah. I filled this out. You are none the wiser to this because I didn't tell you,
Well, this
which
was
is
all
good.
happening behind the scenes. I was just waiting for the general sale, like minding my business. Richie's over here working. He's on a secret mission. He is the solo operative, and I'm just over here like, I wonder when it's going to be 11 a.m., like blissfully unaware of there's an actual war going on in Richie's browser.
It was. And so I somehow, some way, I finish everything up. Everything's good. Press finish. Boom. I get the confirmation email. And like, I was like, I nearly jumped out. I was half asleep. I was still right behind me here, like laid out in my bedroom, like trying to stay awake. And then I was like, I jumped up. I was like, yes, I did it. We did it. I can't believe I did it. Jordan's going to be so excited. And so and so I immediately I called you, which you were probably like, why is this man calling me at 5 minutes before the general sale?
Right. I'm like, I knew it was either going to be really good news or really bad news when you called me because you don't usually call me. I was like,
No, I don't.
there's something here that's either going to be like earth shattering in a good way or in a bad way, but he's calling me. So like I have to pick up because I know it's an emergency.
Yeah,
So I
fun
pick
fact about
up
me,
and
I
he
hate
he
phone
just
calls.
goes,
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. And I pick up and he just goes, "Are you sitting down?" I was like, "I can be." And at that point, like I kind of knew that it was going to be good news because it tipped me off a little bit. But he's like, I'm gonna FaceTime you because I have to show you. And he like shows me the screen that says like order confirmation. And I like couldn't get too excited about it because I was like at work when that occurred. I was like in the building. I was like, I can't be like yelling here in public, but it was crazy. It was crazy. He absolutely pulled a fast one. I'm so proud. We've trained you so well.
Truly ridiculous. All those times failing and failing to get tickets, and I actually managed to pull it off this time. So I have no idea how I did it. It worked out, and we'll be seeing JB on tour. I will say this. I was like, I thought when I did FaceTime you, and I thought you were very calm. I was like, you're way too calm about this. So you know what I thought of? You've seen Major League, right?
Yeah.
Right. So there's a scene where Jake Taylor tells Willie Mays Hayes like, "Hey, don't celebrate in front of guys with the red tags." Right. So Willie Mays Hayes opens his locker. He sees that he has made the roster. He closes his locker and just like casually walks outside and starts to celebrate outside. That's how I picture you.
That's pretty much
Like,
what happened. I had to finish as normal. Like there was I don't know, maybe like another hour left in my day and then like I just went out to my car and shut the door and I was like, "Yes." Just like in my car to I'm hoping that nobody saw me do that cuz it would have been like, "Are you good? Are you crazy?" Anyway. Yeah, that was the heist of the century possibly right there.
so we did it, and we will be there, and we're gonna get barricade. We're manifesting that.
Fingers crossed.
Dude, we
Listen,
only have to beat 798 other people. Okay, that's not too much to ask.
yeah, but the issue is that all 798 other people there are going to be taller than me, so it's a crisis if we don't beat them.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying is like, in other situations in a bigger room like 21 pilots, you gotta sleep out overnight because you're trying to beat 3,000 other people. You're
That
wearing
is true.
GA,
We
right?
might just be able to show up pretty early in the morning because like we did great for coin, and we only showed up like a couple hours before that
Mm-hmm.
show.
Mm-hmm.
You
So
remember you
here's the
remember
thing.
those people in front of us in line for coin, the girls that were like studying for an anatomy exam?
Yeah.
Like had textbooks like open on the pavement and like multicolored highlighters and stuff. We're like, "Are you good?" They're like, "I have an exam tomorrow."
In the middle of June in Arizona. That was great.
Hot,
It was
awful.
it was warm. It was a little warm.
Yeah.
So luckily in October in Chicago, it should be
Mm.
not as bad. So we should be fine. We'll just pack some water. We'll bring some snacks. We'll
Mhm.
be, we'll be we'll be good to go. And we will have the ability to understand like what happened the night before at the previous show, so we can see how early people are lining up and etc. So we can plan, right?
That's true. Not being the first show does give you a little jump start on the logistics because one will have already happened. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. And we know Boy Genius Source has our back, so they'll be like tweeting stuff out, and so they'll be
they
keeping
will.
us in the know what the line looks like.
Apparently, we also just need to be really on the Julian subreddit because that's crushing it too. So
Yes,
we'll just keep an
exactly.
eye on all of our trusted news sources.
Hmm. Exactly. So that I cannot wait. It's gonna be so fun. Like the fact that like we get to see JB right now, still to this day, in such a small venue is insane to me. Like I honestly
Yeah,
can't believe it. Like it's insane. Like what?
we've seen the inverse of this with some artists that are like trying to play big stadium tours and just not selling stadiums. I feel like there's definitely a chance that she could have been playing a larger capacity room and sold it out and
Mm-hmm.
maybe just chose not to like keep it small and keep it for the fans, but like you said, with the popularity right now, there's it would be astronomical. Like you could sell a much larger venue and
Mm-hmm.
just didn't. I mean, what a privilege it will be to be in that room.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I can't wait. I'm excited to see what the crowd is like. I believe it is an all ages show, so that should be interesting. And
I want to say it's
uh,
17 and over, but
mhm,
that's pretty much all ages essentially. Like if
mhm.
you're
Yeah.
going unsupervised to a concert at 13, that's kind of a that was like a question mark. That was my first show when I went to Lady Gaga with my cousin. I was like, I don't know, 14 or 15 or something, and like my mom had to wait in the parking lot to pick us up after the show. It's like that's such a thing.
And if any JB fans are watching who are going to be at the show with us, I'm apologizing in advance for my 6 foot tall frame that you're gonna have to deal with. I'm gonna feel so
He's a
bad.
fan though. Like I promise you guys, he's a fan. He does genuinely care and know all the words and like just he's not just a man. He's actually he's a Julian fan and he's earned his place.
Thank you.
He's not like
I know you'll
he's
have.
not the token man in the audience, but I have his back.
That's right, exactly. It's gonna be. Here's the thing. I'm really hoping for is that I hope I'm not. People on the TikTok aren't like gonna take videos of me and like, what is a man doing here? I'm gonna
If
go.
they
If I go
don't, I
viral for.
will.
If they go viral for that,
Just redirect them to our podcast if you go viral for that. Be like, that's me. Here's my show. I can prove to you that I'm a fan. Here's the
right?
receipts.
I'll have my JB hat, and then we'll have our
Yeah, you're gonna be fine.
JB shirts, and so we'll be good.
Yeah, we haven't decided if we're doing specific attire yet. I don't think
No, no, we have not.
that's for a later date.
We got time.
I'm gonna put a sign on the back of Richie that's like, "I'm sorry, I'm tall. I promise I'm allowed to be here." And then halfway through the show, I switch it out to "kick me" without telling him.
Why is Jordan patting me on the back? What's happening here?
It's like, no, that can't be for any real reason. All of a sudden, you're like, wow, the crowd got a lot more aggressive. That's insane. Yeah,
That's
we're
too
gonna
much.
open the pit. We're gonna open the pit. It's
The
on.
pit will be open.
God. All right. Should we move on?
Yeah, we can.
Where do we want to go from here? We did briefly talk about Chicago. Did you log Chicago on your Letterboxd?
I did. Yes, I did.
What did you give it? Because I don't think I looked.
4.5 stars.
Oh, great. It's a great choice.
Yeah. What did you expect? I was gonna give it like 2.
Richie, what did you expect? Is such a loaded question about your Letterboxd reviews. Really? I was like, this could be anywhere. It could be you could have given it a solid 3. You could have given it a 5. There's going to be, it's so randomly up in the air.
No, I gave it 4.5. I love it. It's such a great movie. It's the perfect musical on film. It's so good. The cast is great. Music was great. Cell Block Tango is like one of the greatest scenes in the history of cinema. I will say that. Queen Latifah's terrific as Mama. Yes. I don't know the name of the song, but her little solo number that she does like prior to Cell Block Tango, like her introduction is terrific.
When you're good to Mama.
Yeah, When You're Good to Mama. Thank you.
Yes,
exactly.
She's great.
It's just like, and it's actually like so if you look, it's on Paramount Plus. So I watched it on Paramount Plus, and if you look at the genre that's listed for it, it's listed as a comedy, which was really funny to me. I was like, wait, this isn't a comedy, but it's actually really funny. There's actually generally some like really funny scenes. John C. Reilly's in it. He's great and he's funny.
I always forget that he's in that movie, and like I just can't take him seriously in it. It's so funny. It's like what's the other equivalent? It's like John Legend being in La La Land that just like doesn't make any sense. You're like, why are you here? I always go back to that one because I love La La Land, but John Legend did not need to be in that. It's like James Corden in a movie musical. Like James Corden in Ocean's 8. You're like, couldn't you have got literally anyone else to play that role? It had to be James Corden. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. So 4.5 stars for Chicago. I said Cell Block Tango is the GOAT, which is true.
True.
I even I got a text. Corey texted me afterwards, and she's a big fan of Chicago as well, and she agreed with me that Cell Block Tango is in fact the greatest of all time. So
I would go so far as to posit that the Chicago movie musical would be like a 1 seed if we had like a March Madness style bracket. It would maybe also make it for like Broadway for musical theater. Like it's just been so long running. Like I think you could have your regional seeds and it would be like Phantom of the Opera region, Chicago region, Wicked region, Lion King region. I feel like we have to have a Disney region. we could make a March Madness style bracket, but like especially when it comes to like movie musical adaptations, it's really faithful to the original and they do a good job. And Catherine Zeta-Jones.
She's Mother. I said it.
She's so good in that. She's so good in that. That's an ageless performance.
I would also, if you're talking about 1 seeds real quick, I'll throw my 1 seeds out there real quick. And you can get angry at me if you want. I'd probably throw it's Chicago for sure.
Okay.
Probably Mamma Mia.
I think so. For movie musicals, not like Broadway specifically.
Yes, movie musicals. Yes. Number 3 is Steven Spielberg's West Side Story.
Okay. The new one with Rachel Zegler and
yes.
Yes.
Ariana DeBose is terrific in it.
She is good.
I only gave that movie 4 stars on Letterboxd in large part because Ansel Elgort is, and people will say this, Ansel Elgort's terrible in that movie. Like they could have casted anybody else in that freaking role. Shout out Mike Feist. And Shout out Mike Feist. That's what I forgot.
I
in that movie.
I saw that discourse on my Twitter this week that was like, putting those two directly next to each other is just such a juxtaposition of the talent and the Broadway and musical theater background of those people. It was like, can we get a little charm from our leading man, please.
Yes,
Please. Rachel
exactly.
Zegler is so good in it,
And
and
everybody else is
he
great.
can't match
The
it.
entire
Yeah.
rest of the cast is terrific. Is
Yeah.
so good. Ariana DeBose won an Academy Award for her
She's
supporting
great.
role. Yeah.
She's great. Yeah.
Anyway, so
Something
those are
about that
three. And
choice.
the thing is, I don't know what my fourth one would be. I'm trying to think of what my fourth one. I don't know. Those are my three. It's like I have
Mm,
those up at like elite level, and there's probably like
yeah. I don't know. You could go a couple different directions with it, because you could also have like things that were eventually turned into a musical after the movie, like Moulin Rouge, or like The Sound of Music or something like that. You could go a different direction. It certainly won't be the Wicked movie that's coming out with Ariana Grande. I'm so afraid of what they're going to do to that movie. Like, the worst case scenario is that it's really bad and everybody hates it. But there's also like a second worst case scenario, which is also because your camera won't focus.
I know
There's a
I can't get
second.
that's what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get it to focus. I don't know why it's not. What happened here?
This is the second
Sorry,
worst case scenario, which is that they
I
bring a
heard.
lot of people mainstream into Broadway that are like only there for the Wicked film. We're like,
Mm-hmm.
stay away.
So
Oh boy.
4C to be determined for me, I think.
Maybe it could be Phantom of the Opera, although I don't like the movie version of that with Gerard Butler as much as I like some of the pro shot stage plays, which then
Mm-hmm.
I guess wouldn't count. But like, if you have the chance to get your hands on the 25th anniversary version with Ramin Karimloo and Sierra Bogus, I'm not sure. That's an incredible performance, and it's just a pro shot of the stage production at the Royal Albert Hall, which is really
Mm-hmm.
really cool. Ramin is
Oh, there's
awesome.
some. Yeah, we missed Grease. Grease, I didn't have in there. I didn't, which is a classic.
Was Grease a musical first though?
I don't know. It was not. It was.
I
It's a.
struggle with the timeline for some of those things. That's like, was it a musical and then a movie? Because I feel like those are allowed. But then if it was a movie first and then a
Mm,
musical, it like blurs the. Yeah.
that's so true. Also, I had to look up a list to like remind myself. I was a big fan of
Mm.
Tick Tick Boom as well from a couple of years ago. I really
Well, that was
enjoyed
a good
that
one.
too. Hmm.
Yeah, with Andrew Garfield.
Still mad that Andrew Garfield did not win Best Actor that year. He should have won, in my opinion, over Will Smith. I think Will Smith ended up winning the Best Actor that year, and it should have been Andrew Garfield, hands down. Because you want to know why? Will Smith didn't sing in his movie. Andrew Garfield did.
I think we should just give Andrew Garfield all the awards because he's Andrew Garfield. That's enough reason for me. Like, I'm sold. Just give him all the awards. Give him his flowers. He's great.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Where are we going? Should we get into Formula 1?
I think we can. Yeah, we're halfway through the show now, so.
Let's get into Formula 1. All right. As we said earlier on the show, we just finished the Barcelona Grand Prix here this morning, like an hour ago. So we're very fresh off of it. Um, I was there, not at the circuit, but I was there like 2 weeks ago, and I was getting a lot of FOMO, like watching the fan fest and stuff that took place like literally on the street that we were staying. I was like, oh my goodness gracious. Like, I would have loved to be there. Um, but it was a good race, I would say. It wasn't boring. We still had some drama.
Yeah, I think honestly, like this season as a whole has been great actually for like this. I feel like this season has been more classically Formula One than it has in years prior. In the last couple of years, 22 and 23, it was all Red Bull all the time. I know you'd enjoy that, but it was just not for everybody else. It was just like, okay, why am I watching this? But like this year, like legit, and I think we mentioned this in the last show too. Like you're looking at basically four teams at the top who, like over the last four races, four different pole winners from, different teams, right? So like, um, this season as a whole is a lot closer at the top, which makes the season more interesting and more entertaining. And this race was the perfect example of that, right? Where yes, Max Verstappen won, and it was a great drive by him, including quite possibly the best overtake of the race on George Russell, which ended up being the race winning move,
Yeah.
essentially, right?
Yeah, that's true.
On the outside, just a terrific move that only Max Verstappen could do, and Max Verstappen weighs. Um, but yeah, there was some great overtakes, some great racing. Lewis had a couple of great overtakes on the Ferraris after a slow start. I said Max had that great overtake of George Russell. George Russell went 3 wide and took the lead off the start because Lando was
Yeah, that
slow,
was smooth.
pushing Max off the track, which is a cool start to the race. Side note, I'll admit, for a second, I thought that was Lewis that took the lead. And for a second, I was like freaking out. I was like,
I
come
thought it
on,
was
get in,
too.
Lewis. Because he
I thought it
started third.
was.
And so I thought he was the one. Yeah, right. So that's why I thought it was him. And then when Crofty was like, and Russell goes, I was like, oh, come on.
Oh.
It was
And
truly
then I
heartbreaking.
texted Richie. I was like, "Don't worry, he can't drive." And then maybe a lap later, he
lo
just,
and behold.
flinched, just had a little flinch, and that's all you need for Max to beat you there. So, but good
So,
racing, great
yes,
start by Russell. I'll give him props on that, and I'll give him props for that sequence that he had with Lando early
that
on
was
in the
terrific.
race. That was also great racing. It was clean by both. They were really fighting it out. It was just good racing.
And of course, at the end of the race, we got Lewis Hamilton podium, which I'm so excited about. And it was basically the complete opposite of Canada, because in Canada, Lewis got screwed over by Mercedes and put him on the wrong strategy. This time, they screwed over George and put him on the wrong strategy and put him on the hards for some reason. And then Lewis was able to easily overtake him and go from there, as he should have, because he was the one that started third and they should have made that happen earlier, to be honest. But anyway, so Lewis got third, got the podium, very excited, was happy about that. So both of us got what we wanted from this race, and there was some drama at the end, right? There was some cool interesting strategy going on, some long tire runs from Lando. Like, it was fairly close, and it would have been even closer if McLaren screwed him on pit road. He was a second half slow on his second
Yeah, I
stop.
want to say he was like a 3.6 and Max's stop was like a 2.1. So, yeah, that makes sense.
And so that pretty much lost him the race at that point, and he just was never able
Maybe.
to be a good
He
because it was about
also,
2.5 second win, basically.
yeah, in the last couple of races, I don't know if this has been all Lando's idea or whether it's McLaren's strategy, but I feel like they've just been keeping him out a little too long. And he's been pushing pretty hard, so obviously you get a little increased tire wear from doing that. But especially today, you noticed it after that first pit because they kept him out. He came out behind Max, behind, it was maybe Leclerc at that point, behind Russell and behind Hamilton, and then, had to make his way through to the front. Whereas if they had just, brought him in a lap earlier, 2 laps earlier, he at least would have been able to overcut Hamilton. And every car matters, every little fight matters as far as, your time and your gap to the other teams, especially when you get into the end of the race and people start having to pass back markers and all kinds of complicated stuff.
Also, genius move by Red Bull to put Max on used softs to begin the race. That also paid off big at the end.
That could have
And
backfired.
and you could arguably say that may have won Red Bull the race there too, as well, right? Where Max had that pace, he was able to pull out at the end of the race on the fresh softs compared to Lando, who had to use some scuff softs there a little bit. And so it ended up evening out perfect, right? Lando had the fresher tires on it because he obviously pitted a little bit later, so he was able to track him down. And Max was able to hold serve. So yeah, overall, I thought it was a pretty good race again. And Lando's into P2 in the point standings. I don't know. I didn't even look at the full standings to see who else finished in the points.
Checo finished in the points.
Checo finished 8th, I think. Gasly, I think, was in there. getting Alpine some points, for goodness sake.
Let me see. Hold on. I'm pulling it up right now. All right. Here's our 1 through 10. Max Verstappen, Lando Norris, Lewis Hamilton, George Russell, Charles Leclerc. It's because Leo was there. We almost had an overtake on Russell at the end by Leclerc, but he just couldn't quite pull it off. Carlos Sainz, P6 at his home race. Oscar Piastri, 7th. They also kind of screwed over Oscar on his strategy at McLaren as well. I would say he's really getting like the driver 2 treatment to Lando now, which is like less favorable. But Checo P8, Pierre Gasly P9, Esteban Ocon P10, Alpine double point.
Alpine double points for Alpine for I
Double
think
points
the
for Alpine.
second or third consecutive race. Second race in a row. Sorry, yeah.
Nico Hulkenberg just
Poor
P11
Nico.
out of the points.
Just missed out.
Fernando Alonso P12 in his home race. Zhou P13. That might be the highest finish for him this season. Lance Stroll P14. Who cares? Danny Ricciardo 15th. And unfortunately, Logan Sargent down in 20th.
Oh, he did finish last. Darn it.
Yeah, even with Yuki's penalty. We also saw a lot of penalties in this race for speeding in the pit lane. It was crazy. It was like everybody saw that the pit stops were being slow and they were like, well, we'll just gun it into the pit lane. And then we had some speeding in the pit lane.
Yeah. Oh, let me look at I'm curious what the constructors look like now. Let's see. Constructor standings. Let's see what we got
I want to
here.
say Ferrari's like 60 behind Red Bull and McLaren is almost 100.
Yes, you are correct.
Okay.
Ferrari 60 back. McLaren is 33 back of Ferrari.
So 93 total.
Alpine has more than Haas now. RB still hanging strong in 6th with 28 somehow. I don't know how that's the case, but and unfortunately, Kick Sauber has yet to score points this season.
Where is Ollie Behrman is still P13 in the driver's standings, which is
Unreal.
crazy given that he ran one race. He has the same points as Nico and more than Gasly, Ocon, Albon, Magnussen, Zhou, Bottas, and Sargent.
Good job, kid. I can't wait to have him in that. I think he's going to be great with Haas next
year.
I'm
excited to see him. Yep, me too.
I think he's going to do really well. His car in F2 just sucks, and I think that's part of the reason why is that team just isn't very competitive. And
who is he with? Is he with Prema?
He's with Prema. I think his teammate is Kimi. I think Antonelli, right? Yeah.
I think that might be true. I don't know.
So I like Ollie. We're rooting for Ollie to see him at Haas next year. Who's his teammate next year? We don't know yet. Still don't know.
We don't
know. Quickly before we move on, I sent this to you as well. I was watching this race last night. It was actually a great race as well. The F1 Academy race from Spain. Race. I watched race number 2. So congratulations to Chloe Chambers from the United States of America, rolling in the Haas colors. So Formula One Academy, it still counts. Haasy and Bio, baby, on the top step of the podium. Let's go. Congratulations, Chloe.
Let's go. Great. Yeah, that was well done. Great to see. She's been great this season. She's done some really great racing.
Actually really impressive too, because she didn't start on pole. It was it was oh my goodness, I just completely forgot her name. But it wasn't Penn, it wasn't Dorian Penn, it was Abby Pulling. Sorry,
out right now. I feel like she's got.
No, she's in. Yeah, she finished I think 5th yesterday in race 2. Yeah,
I thought I saw that she had an injury or something that was going to keep her out.
She's back. She's back.
Okay.
Yep. Anyway, yeah, Abby Pulling, who had won race 1, is the points leader. She had the pole, and Chloe beat her off the line and led the entire race. And the racing was pretty good too, man. There was a little bit of there's some scrapping at the end of the race there, and some good overtakes going on. I like F1 Academy. I think those women are terrific, man. They're good drivers. They're great drivers. Shout out to Leah. Shout out to Leah Block too. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead. No, go ahead. They were interviewing Chloe Chambers, and she said that she learned her overtake trick from Fernando Alonso. Which is so funny.
Anyway, yeah. So yeah, Leah Block, her first year. This is no joke. I think I've told you this before too. This is her first year. I think she's 18 years old. This is her first year in open wheel racing. She's never raced in open wheel. She
It's
came
crazy.
from racing off road. Her dad, who has passed away unfortunately, in the last year or so, unfortunately, longtime off road driver. Um, and rally driver and such, and done a lot of great things. Ken Block, her father, and so this is her first year in open wheel this year, and she's been crushing it. She's done great, and she's got great things ahead for her too. So I've been keeping track of her this year. But yeah, so shout out to F1 Academy and Chloe Chambers for getting Hossy the win.
Let's
Cool
go.
moment.
Yeah, that definitely still counts. We're counting it.
hmm That's Haas's first ever win ever
Well,
in
other than our
in
co-op
open
mode,
wheel. In open wheel, they've won in NASCAR, obviously, but
other than our co-op mode, in which
yeah,
we're gonna get Haas so many wins. Like
yes,
just not
exactly.
at Jeddah. But
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, Richie and I started our co-op campaign this week with our Hossie campaign on F123, and it's been a little chaotic to start. I'm excited for when we get like some races in and we get some content. We'll probably make something and post it for you guys, but we're having too
hmm
much fun with it. And we had P1, P2 at Bahrain. We had a little incident,
an incident.
in Jeddah. Yeah. But we're gonna rally back stronger for our third race. We know what we got to do. Richie has to be less caffeinated, and I have to get my playlist
So
going
true.
because we changed those things for race 2, and it did not go so well. So
Did not go well. Did not go well. We
and
had
we
to
refused to
restart
bro
too.
Sadies. Yeah, we did.
Yes, exactly. We had to restart our season because things got off to such a terrible start.
Yeah, we double DNF'd in Jeddah, which was rough, and I think I DNF'd both races. Because we have the AI difficulty at like it's at like 50, right? So it's
I
about
think so.
halfway. And at that difficulty, the AI is one, super unpredictable, and two, Richie's internet, as you all know, is maybe a little bit of a slog sometimes. And so between those two things, where the AI is jumpy and the Wi-Fi is jumpy, we had a couple issues with being severely impeded in the middle of the track, causing terminal damage from the AI, and that was wild. And so we decided to turn the simulation damage down and start over, and it's been going better. But
Yeah, it's a
Richie
little bit
lost
better.
3 or 4 front wings in one race.
Four.
I think it was I don't know, honestly. I was like, "How do you keep getting front wings? Where are these coming from?"
It
He's
was.
like,
I'm
"I'm
pretty sure it
using
was.
yours."
It was. I think it was four. I think it was four.
It was fun to spectate your race, but it's more fun to actually race. But it was
hmm
kind of funny to look over Richie's shoulder and see what he was seeing and what he was doing on track. And we'll see. I think it should get better for us. We have Australia next, so that should be better.
Australia's coming up. We have some better tracks in the circuit, except for Monaco and
Mhm.
Baku, which you not looking forward
Ew,
to
yeah.
those, but
Silverstone is a lock. Like we'll be fine.
exactly.
We'll be fine.
The thing that makes me mad is that we locked out the front row in in both races,
It's true.
and 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 in Jeddah, things started out okay, and then just incrementally got worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, they were great until I had to pit and I had a slow pit and then came out behind AI George Russell who ruined my race. And then yeah, it just exponentially got worse from there. So everything was fine until we took a pit stop. So lesson learned, just don't pit. Just drive until your tires are on the
Exactly.
rim. Yeah.
Exactly. I was like running in like sixth or seventh. I was in the points. I was doing
Yeah, you were
okay.
fine. Mhm.
And then pit stop happened, and I came out in the middle of traffic, and I was too caffeinated, tried to do something really stupid, did not work out, got a penalty, and race was over.
Yeah, he tried to send it and it didn't go so good. That's okay.
I was like
Well,
Kevin
you
Mag- I was
safety
like Kevin
carded at the
Magnuson.
end,
Yeah.
which almost made it for me, right? I had 2 laps left
Mm-hmm.
to get from P18 into the points. And I think it was clean. You would have seen it better than I did, but I thought my move into turn 1 was clean, and then a Williams straight lined me and got stuck on my
I thought you
car, and
had
I
him.
was
I
like,
really did. I didn't see
I don't
anything
even know
funky.
where the Williams came from because it wasn't in that line. It was like whoever was P20 just came through and nailed me and like got stuck to the side of my car, and it was a whole deal. But I thought I made that stick. I was like, I got 2 places in 1 turn, like we're gonna be fine. And then it spiraled. So
And then it was over. So yeah, we're second in the constructors now. We're not too far back.
no,
We're
we'll be
still
fine.
good to go. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just glad that I got my win out of the way. That's really all I wanted. I didn't think I was going to win a race all season long,
That's
and
true. You did.
by golly, I did it.
You did it. That was fun to watch from like right behind you because I could just see what was happening. There was an
That
amount
was
of
so
time where I
crazy.
was
Yeah.
stalking you through a couple of laps, and I think I said it last night when we were at Jeddah, but I was like, I'm afraid to follow you too closely because I never know what you're gonna do. It's like it's so hard to overtake Richie because I don't want to get too close to him because he's a little twitchy sometimes on the controller. I was like, he's gonna pull something stupid here and crash us both. We're gonna Brosades.
It almost happened twice. It almost happened in Bahrain. It almost happened. I thought you were catching me and you were gonna get past me, and
I did. I made
here's
up like 11
you did it
seconds
too.
at
You
bar.
made your move. You made your move too early. You made it too early. If you would have waited until the main straight,
Says
you
the
would have
guy
got
who's
me.
driving directly in the middle and couldn't pick a lane. Because that's the same thing that happened last night too. He was like left, right, left, and I yelled at him. I was like, "Pick a side." It's yeah. Anyway, that's probably gonna
There was a
happen.
lane
But
there for you, and then it closed really quickly.
yeah, all right. Whether through legal means or illegal means is yet to be determined. But Richie didn't get a penalty for impeding, so I guess it was clean. But he's
Did
gonna get
not.
a seat at the steward's office if you're not careful. They like you for track limits. They didn't even give you a warning. They were like immediate penalty.
It was so dumb. It was on lap 1 of the race too. I forgot about that. That was our first turn of the race at Jeddah, and they're
Yeah,
like
you
penalty. I was like, oh
immediately
come
black
on,
and white flagged. Yeah.
race ruined from
Yep.
then on out.
Yep.
Dumb.
Rough.
All right,
Shake.
we got 10 minutes in the show. We have some topics to crush through.
Yeah, we can cruise. Where do we want to go? Do we want to let's go Paladin straight since I think we're gonna have to spend the most time on that. We had the drop this week. A couple episodes ago, we recapped Clancy, the new album from 21 Pilots, and their big drop of music videos to go along with this album. They have a video for every song on the album, which is super cool. But they had been holding back the last track from us, which was Paladin Straight, and they dropped it this week. And am I fair to say cinematic masterpiece about this?
I would agree. Yes, there's a reason why it took as long as it did.
Yeah, it was incredible. It's like a 5-minute video, almost 5.5 minutes. I think the track itself is like 6.5 minutes. So they cut like a minute of the dead air out of the
Couldn't
middle of the
afford it
track.
in the budget.
They couldn't. Yeah, I was like, this is why concert tickets are $200 each
Mhm.
because they had to finance the Paladin Straight music video. But it was so worth it. It was so cool to see all of the years of the lore and the story that they've been building up behind the last couple of albums really come to life here. And I think people are putting the pieces together that now we're realizing that it may go farther back than we thought it did. There's like little hints and things from early albums that kind of make sense here. We're like, how long have they been crafting this narrative? But it was amazing. And if you're at all interested, it's a good watch. Although I think it might be weird to some casual fans. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah.
there's going to be people that show up to the shows for like stressed out and ride, and then they're faced with this wall of narrative and lore and story, and they're like, I did not sign up for this.
Right. Yeah, I wasn't sure what to expect from this video. This was not what I expected, like
Mm-mm.
at all. Like this was just like my best comparison for this is like Game of Thrones was like very well known for its massive battles, right? Early
Mm-hmm.
seasons, Battle of the Blackwater, terrific. I think that was in season two, at the end of season two. Battle of the Bastards later on, right? The battle with the White Walkers at the very end with the freaking dragon, dude. Like, come on, right? That's what this was. That's what this felt like. It felt like that kind of scale and that much effort went into it. They were fighting zombies um,
Mm-hmm.
at one point, which is insane, with torches and like the massive cast of people they had. Um, yeah, just terrific, and I'm excited to see what has come was on the docket. I sent you Tyler's tweet the other day. Let me bring it up so I can read it. Um, let's see. Here we go. Here. Oh, that's not him. Okay, that's fake Tyler Joseph. Where the heck is he? Where is
Fake
he?
Tyler.
There he is. There's Tyler.
This would have been wild, by the way, if like that was the way that we found out that Tyler had deactivated his Twitter or something. Like, you know what I mean?
Right. Um, so Tyler quote tweeted this a tweet that said, "This may be an unpopular opinion. I really hope the final battle isn't during the concerts." Tyler retweeted that and said, "It's not. The show is a flashback, like an entire life passing by, reminding us why we fight right before we do." So that's 21 Pilots Eras tour confirmed.
I hope so. But yeah, I think you alluded to it, but they left us on a little bit of a cliffhanger, more than a little
Mm-hmm.
bit. They left us on a cliffhanger about what happens next, where it's going to go. They've maybe been a little intentionally ambiguous in the way that they've referred to this track. Like in the email that they sent out about the music video dropping, they were like, "Here's the video for track 13 on Clancy," and we're like, "Why did you call it that so
Mm-hmm.
specifically?" And so there are definitely people that are scheming and theorizing about the double album, which like I guess it could happen, or a deluxe or something like that. And even in the live stream where they were a little cryptic, they were like, "Do you feel like this is the end of the story?" And we've all decided that the answer is no, but whether the follow-up comes now or comes later is something that we're still working out as far as that goes. But it was really, really well done.
I agree. 11 out of 10. Can't wait for the show. We are 2 months away.
Yeah, we're gonna
Right?
get I feel like we're gonna
Maybe
get a
2 months.
crazy show. Like they've always done
Mm-hmm.
a great job with, the visuals and the staging and the production and stuff, but I feel like we're really gonna get something special this time around.
Mm-hmm. And I don't have pit tickets this time, so I don't have to stand in line, which is great. I get to be
That'll
with
be good for you.
I get to be with the people in the stands.
Be with the
So
common folks up in the stands. Yeah.
yes.
We're bringing my mom to this show, and I don't think she understands what she's in for necessarily. She's gonna be like, "Oh, this is my dad and I." She's gonna be like, "This is like their fun little band concert thing," and then we're gonna be like,
Uh-huh.
"By the way, here's Clancy. Put this red tape on your shirt." And she's gonna be like,
Yeah.
I'm not sold on this." So we'll see how that goes. All right, let's close it down here. A couple of things that have been happening this week. We've had Olympic trials for swimming and diving, which I've been making Richie watch and most of my family watch. And I feel like people have been engaged with this. You could speak to it from just a general sports fans experience. What has the perspective been like on that?
Yeah, first of all, I love Olympic season. I'm always locked in. I love watching swimming and I love watching track. And I've been doing that. The track trials started as well. Shakari Richardson
Mhm.
crushed it. She's back in the, or she actually, I think this is going to be her first Olympics because if you recall, she got suspended for Tokyo and didn't make the Olympic team that year, right? She got suspended because she
Yep.
was smoking weed. Stupid. Anyway, so she's on the team this year. Has a chance maybe to break the American record. I think she's pretty close to doing that. So be on the lookout for
She's gonna
that.
scare the record for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm always locked in. I love it. I love watching the swimming trials. I love watching Katie Ledecky, for goodness sake. My goodness. Like just unreal. Can I read you? I don't know if you saw my. Can I read you my tweet? It might be a little bit controversial, but it's really funny. It
No,
made
read
me
it.
laugh, and it's 100% true. All right, I have to scroll through all my stuff here. Oh, here we go.
Oh boy.
Controversy. So you might have to put a warning in the edit on this, just in case. I don't know. I don't mean to offend
Controversy
anybody.
tag.
Yeah, here we
Okay.
go. Watching Katie Ledecky is as close as we will get to the reincarnation of Jesus Christ. It's a religious experience watching her dominate these 800 and 1500 events.
I mean, like I can't really argue with you because it really is, especially like live to watch her dominate and continue to dominate and to do so consecutively for so many years over these distance events and stuff. And then also we saw her swim shorter events this year and still be dang good at it. That's incredible. And like she doesn't have the I think she's talked about this, but she doesn't have that just genetic build and predisposition to swimming like somebody like Michael Phelps. So it's hard work. It's dedication to the sport and doing so over so many years is so impressive. We're seeing that with swimmers like Caleb Dressel even who like took time away from the sport and then came back and are still good at it. Ryan Murphy still good at it. Some of the veterans, Lily King, still good at it. The veterans that have been there and been on those stages before and continue to prove that they belong there is so fun. And then to get them juxtaposed with these young kids that are, the record breakers and are in it to see what they can do for their first or second Olympics I think it's a cool team dynamic. I'm interested to see how that plays out.
I can't wait. The U.S. versus Australia rivalry this year, I think, is seemingly going to be more intense than it has maybe ever. I think this year
they're hyping it up, but like,
Mhm.
where are you, Kate Campbell, on the Australia sheet? Where are you at?
She didn't even make the roster.
Right.
She didn't
It's
make
like,
it.
where you at? You're talking a lot of smoke, but I don't see your
That was
name
one of
on the
my
roster,
favorite things
girl.
from the thing is when they showed Michael Phelps that video. He was seething, man. He was like,
That man was ready
and
to
people
come
were
out
like,
of
"Oh, he's coming
retirement for
back.
a minute.
He's
Yeah,
coming back. He wants to smoke some dudes in the 200 IM."
he was. He was ready to come out of retirement for a second. He was like, I would have taped that on my wall and thought about it every single minute of every day. Been like, oh my God, so scary. Yeah,
Also, quick side note: I know you got to go to them, which was really cool.
I
I was
did.
really jealous.
Yeah.
20,000 people showed up for a swim meet
Yeah,
at a
I was there
football
for
stadium.
both of the really high attendance nights. So it was like the Monday night and the Wednesday night sessions this past week, and it was incredible. There were so many people there who like obviously you had the folks that were really invested and had a favorite or had a team or a person that they supported. And then you had just casual people who were like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe that I was sleeping on this being so fun for so long." And that was really cool to see is it's bringing more people into this and showing that you can have success hosting it at an unconventional venue like that, which I think now they're saying that SoFi Stadium is going to host swimming in 2028 in
Yeah,
Los
so
Angeles. So home of the
that's nice.
Rams is
Yeah,
is going to be converted to a pool, which is
SoFi
so cool.
Stadium. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
SoFi Stadium. There you go.
Yeah, I would like. I don't know how much tickets are for Olympic events, but I'm telling you right now, if they do have the swimming at SoFi Stadium, I'm going
Yeah, you
100%.
should.
Like
You
that
should.
would be so cool.
And like I think it'll be more affordable to go to the prelims and stuff obviously than it would be for the finals, but like for trials, they were really the upper deck tickets were really reasonable, but lower deck it depended because there were some seats that were like $200 for a final session to sit low right in front
Mm-hmm.
of it. So it depends on your price point. It'll probably be more for the Olympics than just the US swimming trials, but there has to be a way where they can incentivize people to really show up because that would make the most sense. Like you want to have good attendance and have an audience and have people there that care about it. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll
Exactly.
see. They got a lot of time to figure that out.
That's 4 years from now. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. All right,
All right, quick
the
hits.
other thing happening on the international stage, quick hitter. We've got the Euros going on, and we have the Copa America going on. So if you're a soccer fan at all, this is a really good time of year for you, and it's a great time for Richie and I too, because we get Formula One, we get soccer, we get or football, I guess. We get swimming trials, diving trials, track and field trials. Like there's something on TV every single day. I guess we get golf, but I don't personally care. So there's all kinds of stuff happening right now if you're a sports fan and you should be into it. And clearly I've decided allegiance this year for the Euros after my visit to Portugal.
Mm-hmm.
Own goals leading the tournament. Thoughts? Do we think own goal can keep this pace and win the Golden Boot?
The funniest thing of all time. That was the worst goal I've ever seen was in the Portugal match. Like I don't think I told you when I texted like I thought they blew the whistle. I thought they were just like he was just kicking it out of play or something. Because there was a
he put some
whistle
sauce on that pass back.
for
It
like
wasn't
a
like
free
a
goal.
soft.
Yeah.
It wasn't a soft touch back to the keeper,
And
and
I'm
he
pretty
just was
sure
not paying attention.
the the director thought the same thing because they cut away
They did,
for
yeah.
another shot,
Even
and so we almost
some of the
missed the goal
Portuguese
entirely.
players thought that. They were like hanging out at midfield and they were like, wait, there goes the ball. That was so strange. I'm not sure I've seen anything like that in a long time.
Incredible. Portugal looked great. I think they're up there, man. I really do. France is up there. Spain is up there.
England,
I
I'm
think
sorry. I don't think it's coming home.
nothing. No, England's terrible. Not going to happen.
I'm
England,
sorry.
England, the United States, kind of in the same boat, which is all the talent in the world. Terrible head coach.
Yeah.
I
You could
digress.
also say that about the US women's team.
At their last
Flacco.
World Cup. Yes. No, we are
Flacco.
not throwing shade at Emma Hayes because she is perfect. She's great. And she's gonna put us back on top in the Olympics. Okay.
Richie and I were like walking in the dark at 2 a.m. back from Denny's yelling about Flacco during the last Women's World Cup. So we're still bitter about it. We're still
Side note,
bitter.
the funny thing about Flacco is he's back in the NWSL coaching Kansas City, and Kansas City is atop the table right now in the NWSL.
I don't know if that'll last, but we'll see.
Unreal. But anyway, real quick before we get to our one last thing, I love it right now. It's like the greatest time to be because we got the NBA finals, NHL finals wrapping up, Stanley Cup.
That's
Game
true.
7.
I didn't even count those.
Yeah. Stanley Cup Game 7 coming up on Monday. Congratulations on winning. Hold on. Congratulations on winning the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, we'll dub that
great
over
game. It was a terrific Game 7, wasn't it, Jordan?
It was just so impressive. Their result in Game 7 after all that fight. Just taking the 3-game deficit and really pushing it to the end. But we always knew that they were going to win. That it made no sense,
absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. So congratulations once again. So we have that, and then we're into the trials. The Olympics are around the corner. And then we have Copa and Euros in between. Copa and Euros end. We go to the Olympics for 2 weeks. Then we're into August, and then that's basically like NFL training camp. And then we're off and flying, baby. We're off in Premier League as it starts in August. Like, so good.
Ugh. Absolutely crazy. All
right. Yeah, I know you want to roast me now. Please go ahead. I'm going to mute my mic.
I guess you could roast me back, but Richie, we started early this morning. I guess sort of early. It's early for him. It's not that early for me. But after the F1 race, he was like, I'm gonna grab breakfast real quick. I'm gonna make some coffee and then we'll be ready to record. I was like, okay, sick. So I got all set up. I texted him. I didn't realize he meant that he was outsourcing his breakfast, that he was going to drive through. I was like, I thought you were just gonna make something. I was like, that should be fine. So I texted him. I was like, I'm all set up. And he's like, cool, I'm sitting in the McDonald's drive through. I was like, okay, that was a surprise. So anyway, naturally, my next question was, what are you getting? Because that I feel like I wanted to know. It was not that I would get it myself, but like I could be jealous of your breakfast if it was something good. And he texted me back, sausage McMuffin. I was like, okay, I was literally about to send you back and be like, that's a solid choice because they are good. And then he says, I have to literally get through all of our texts from this morning, which has been crazy. He says sausage McMuffin. And then 1 minute later, he says, no egg. And I said back in all caps, no egg, like sausage and bread only. And he thinks about it for a minute because there's a minute time gap in our timestamp there. And he goes, well, there's cheese on it too. It's like, what? Excuse me. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? That's like, I'll have a hamburger, no meat though. It's like I'll have a McGriddle, but I don't want the pancake bun. I just want the loose fillings. Like, it's a breakfast sandwich. Put the egg on it. What's your beef with egg?
Well, you know this. We've talked about this before. Maybe
know
you've
we've
just
talked about
forgotten
this.
in your old age.
No, I know
at
we've
this
talked
point.
about this, but my old age, my advanced age. I'm giving the listeners a softball so that they can catch up if they haven't been here before.
Okay, yeah. So Jordan knows this. I'm not an eggs guy. Never have been. Don't like them. Trying to avoid them at all costs. So I never get especially if they're not made fresh. If they're the McDonald's one, they just put in the microwave, whatever. I don't know what they do with them, but not the greatest. And so you just go with the sausage and the cheese and the English muffin. Genius. So good. Perfect. Cheap. Buy one, get one for $1. Can't beat it.
All right. I guess, I don't know. I can allow that, I suppose. You should try the McGriddle though, because they do the folded egg instead of the round egg. And sometimes I agree with you on the round egg. It's like hit or miss, depends how fresh it is. I like the folded egg one better. And then the bread is better.
Not doing it. Do not pass go.
No, but
Do not collect
the
$200.
bread is better on the McGriddle because it's like
Yes, it
got
is.
pancake
I
syrup
agree.
in it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've done McGriddles in the past, but I like the muffin better, I think, for me. But
the muffin minus the egg. All right. I had this in the show notes as Richie's McCrime. So that's now you can roast me back.
I don't think I'm that crazy. There's a reason why it's it's listed on the menu as sausage McMuffin, and then there's another one that says sausage McMuffin with egg.
I've never seen that personally. I'm like, it makes sense that there's like, the regular egg McMuffin, that there's an option to switch out the Canadian bacon for regular bacon. That makes perfect sense because I don't want no round McDonald's ham because I don't know where that's come from. But that is a reasonable and logical choice. Just getting bread, cheese, and meat, go ask for a hamburger at 10:30 in the morning. It's a breakfast sandwich. Put an egg on it. Anyway, go ahead. Now you can roast me about the meme that I don't like.
Oh, yeah. The meme heard round the world. Real quick, by the way, even your mom was roasting me about my choice, which
she did. She piled on.
Ruthless.
My mom's been in savage mode about stuff lately because my mom has also found this meme, which is I think part of the reason I don't like it is because now it's gone so mainstream that even my chronically offline mother knows about it.
So Jordan roasting me for my sausage McMuffin takes is gonna ruin the tour.
What tour?
The world tour.
All right, I had to make that one happen.
Yeah, Jordan does not like that meme. I don't know why. I think it's hilarious.
I don't know. Something about it just gives me the ick. I can't explain it. I think it's just because of how oversaturated it is. But anyway. But like I could see that going the other way too, because I enjoyed every single one of those memes where it was like, what should I put in this random space in my house? I loved all of those. But something about this one just rubs me the wrong way. I can't tell what makes that difference for me.
I think it's the fact that like when your parents hop on the memes, that's what ruins it. Yep.
Maybe, but I enjoy when they do it because when we were traveling and sometimes I would say me espresso to things and my mom would laugh and I was like, that makes me feel accomplished. Like I feel a reward that she understands that joke and can pile in with it. But something about this one, I don't know what it is. I have to throw the red flag on it. I don't have my flag right here though, so red flag.
Offside. Like offside. Max when he was reading his little red flag in the
offside by VAR. Crazy. Anyway, that's it. We've gone over as usual, but We had a lot to get through, okay? Leave
Mhm.
us alone. We'll maybe eventually be back on 1 hour schedule, but it's not today. So, thanks for joining us here at the 1 Hour 1 Brain Cell podcast. As usual, you can find us at OHOBC Pod on all of our social media. Thanks to the randomly 1,600 of you that found us on TikTok on my lowest effort production to date. We appreciate all of you. I didn't say this last week, so I'm a little bit late, but we are wishing a happy Father's Day to all of the dads that know and love our podcast, especially mine, because I know that they listen. And we're also a little bit late on this, but happy Pride Month to all of our listeners who celebrate. And we appreciate all of you, especially our one listener from Ireland who we hope is Hosier. So for Richie, I have been Jordan. Thanks for joining us. Tune in next week. We'll see you then.